Forced to work from home by your employer? Laid off or feeling depressed at home? Do you want to make money working from anywhere? We'll show you how to do it from your couch. It's time for another episode of the Work From Home Show. Coming to you from their homes in Austin, Texas and Tampa, Florida, here are your hosts, Adam and Naresh.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Work From Home Show. I'm Naresh Vissa with Adam Schrader, and on the line with us is Nathan Hirsch. Nathan Hirsch is somebody who started working from his dorm room. So similar to me, except he made a lot more money than I did. And it looks like he was just an early budding entrepreneur. He started his first company, Portlight, in 2009 while he was in college, and he was buying and selling textbooks online. Over the 5-year history of the company, he and his business partner scaled the company to over $25 million in total sales. And they expanded to work with over 1,000 suppliers in home, baby, and toy products. He managed a team of more than 50 people. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that company, Portlight, as well as his new company called OutsourceSchool. It's an online education platform teaching entrepreneurs how to hire and scale their business with virtual assistants and virtual workers. It offers both courses and software to help people basically make money online. So Nathan Hirsch, once again, welcome to the Work From Home Show.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, and we're going to get to your story about Portlight, but there is one more story that we have to get to, and that is your company FreeeUp, which you started after Portlight. So I believe you sold Portlight, made a lot of money, then started FreeeUp, and you started FreeeUp because you hated the turnover, poor support, and unreliability of the Upworks and Fiverrs, which are two platforms that we recommend on this show, but we can talk about that a little bit more. The unreliability of Upworks and Fiverr, and wanted a better way to hire freelance workers. So for 4 years, you scaled up FreeeUp from $5,000 to $12 million. $12 million in yearly annual revenue, and you sold that company as well. So, man, you're just a serial online work from home entrepreneur. So it's truly a pleasure to have you on our show.
Yeah, thanks for having me. So the Amazon business was not acquired. It was a kind of a cash cow that didn't really have assets. It was a drop shipping business, but FreeeUp was acquired. That was kind of a cool ending of last year. And now on to my next venture of OutsourceSchool.
Yeah, well, let's get in depth. So I didn't know that was an Amazon business, the Portlight. So let's start there. And how did you, as a college student, because I went to college and I had a lot of friends in college and none of them pursued anything like this. How did you get the entrepreneurial bug, and how did you start your business, this Amazon business, from your dorm room?
Yeah, so I started off buying and selling people's textbooks. I remember going to sell my books back to the school bookstore, and they didn't offer me very much money. So I said, you know what, I can sell these online to different online distributors, one of which was Amazon. And I started buying and selling people's textbooks. I offered more money in the bookstore. I still made a good percentage. I was shipping the books out. And one day my college sent me a cease and desist letter telling me to knock it off because I was stealing too much of their business from the bookstore. And it ended up being one of the better things that happened to me. I mean, at that point, I had sold some of these books on Amazon. I thought it was really cool. I could have this 24/7 Amazon storefront, and I just had to figure out what to sell. And at the same time, I kind of looked at it like, hey, I have a dorm room. I don't have a warehouse to put anything. I don't have much money. What kind of business can I run? And I thought, hey, what if I create relationships with different manufacturers and suppliers out there who didn't know Amazon, and our relationship was, hey, I get to list your products on Amazon. When something sells, I'll send you their company customer information. You ship it to them. You keep my credit card on file. You charge me. I can mark it up whatever I want and make the difference. And that was my business. And then it became just figuring out what products sold the best. And through a lot of trial and error, I came across baby products. I'm not 100% sure why, but if you can imagine me as a 20-year-old single college guy just starting to sell hundreds of $1,000s, eventually millions of baby products on Amazon, that was me. And that's really how it all started.
Well, first off, what college was this at?
Quinnipiac University. It's near Yale in Connecticut.
Yep. Okay. And wow, that's so. I remember when I was in high school, I faced the same. I mean, every student faces, at least back in the 90s and 2000s, faces where you get the textbook, school year is over, textbook costs a ton of money, and it's like, okay, what do I do with this? Do I hand it down to a friend or family member, or do I just eat the loss? And so I actually tried selling textbooks as well, and to me, I just didn't know technology. I didn't know Amazon. I didn't know eBay. I just wasn't very good with technology back then. Now it would be a lot easier to run a business like it, but this was 15 years ago or so. And I was just kind of bootstrapping. You know, I'd use Craigslist. I'd ask people around and give them discounts to buy the books. But you figured out that system from a technology side. I think that's the key. So you could automate the process. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, we automated it in two ways. We started hiring people. At first, we hired college kids who weren't very reliable, and then we tried hiring people in the U.S. who were really expensive, and eventually learned about virtual assistants and went down that path. So that was part of it. And then we also hired developers to automate as much as we could and link up with the suppliers. And that same developer that started our Amazon software built the FreeeUp marketplace and is actually working with us on OutsourceSchool now, building our software, Simply SOP, which is a standard operating procedure software that's included in the OutsourceSchool membership. So I kind of got started in the VA front and the development front at the same time.
What do you think is the kind of impetus and the big thing that pushed you forward to starting your own business? Because a lot of people out there right now, they've been, they're either working from home for the first time, or they might be still in the high percentage of people who don't have a job right now, and they might be thinking about starting their own business. Kind of what advice do you have for them? Kind of what helped you get over, the fear that a lot of people have about starting their own business?
Yeah. So, I mean, I think what motivated me is I had jobs, internships going into college throughout high school and college. My parents made me work 40, 50 hours every summer, every winter break. And I kind of learned what life was like after college if you got a real job. And I just wanted no part of it. So there was a certain hustle element to it. And then the other side of it is, I mean, it's never been a better time to do trial and error to figure out ways to make money online. I mean, you need a computer, you need some internet, you can even go to the library and just spend time online, whether it's watching videos, listening to podcasts, but just actually executing and trying different things. Open up an Amazon account, open up an eBay account, create a marketing agency, try to sell different services. Like it's never cost less to start a business and try stuff out. And there's so many low risk, high reward situations out there. There's no get rich quick schemes, but that actually work. But there are ways to test things out, see what's working, tweak more, follow what's working, pull back on what's not. And that's really how I've started 3 businesses with less than $5,000.
I'm curious to know, you said Portlight, your first company, you did not sell that company. I believe you were doing millions of dollars in sales annually. How come you guys didn't exit that?
Yeah, so we got into Amazon at a really good time. 2009, it was taking off. I think at the beginning we were kind of like, hey, we're going to take down Amazon. We're going to be the next e-commerce player. But at the end of the day, we weren't selling our own products. We were very dependent on other manufacturers. And then Amazon got more competitive. So the first few years we were doubling. We got up to doing over $6 million a year. Then it got more competitive. Amazon started changing their rules. You have to remember with an Amazon account, you're 100% dependent on Amazon. They can change anything. They can shut you down on at any given time. So then we started to hover around the $1 to $3 million a year mark. And at that point, we had been selling baby products for 7 years. Our entire business was dependent on Amazon. At the same time, we weren't building a brand or anything like that. And it was getting tougher and tougher. We could still make money on it, but we weren't doubling every year. We were kind of just going in circles, adjusting to Amazon's algorithm. So when we started FreeeUp on the side, FreeeUp quickly took off. And with FreeeUp, we got to do B2B instead of B2C, which was a lot more fun for us, helping other entrepreneurs and building relationships. And at the same time, we got to grow our brand, our own website that wasn't dependent on Amazon, that didn't have its own rules. And once FreeeUp quickly surpassed our Amazon business, we really just hated working on the Amazon business. Even though we're splitting our time, we just wanted to spend all our time on FreeeUp. So we ended up transferring the Amazon business to another partner. And we decided to, my other business partner, Connor, and I decided to focus full time on FreeeUp, and it ended up being the right decision.
So whenever you're working with FreeeUp and connecting, businesses to freelancers, kind of what's the key to finding the right freelancer for an employer out there?
Yeah, so FreeeUp was acquired, so I'm not in FreeeUp anymore. I mean, the key to vetting freelancers is attitude, skill, and communication, and finding the full trifecta of that. And that's something that we teach a lot at OutsourceSchool. FreeeUp has a vetting process for that as well. But a lot of people make the mistake of just hiring someone who has the most experience or seems like they have the best skill set, when the attitude of what they actually care about, how they interact with people, how they handle adversity and feedback, and are they positive or a negative person, and then how they actually communicate. Can you understand what they're saying? Do they hit due dates? Do they let you know ahead of time if issues happen? To me, it's that full trifecta where if you only have 1 out of 3 or 2 out of 3 or 0 out of 3, you're going to run into issues at some point.
You started FreeeUp because it states on the site you didn't like, or you hated turnover, poor support, and unreliability of Upwork and Fiverr and freelance.com and some of these other online freelancing platforms. I'm just curious to know, can you talk a little bit more about the turnover, poor support, and unreliability? Because I've been using these sites for 6 or 7 years and I love them. They're amazing.
Yeah, I mean, everyone kind of has different experiences. You'll run into people that love them or hate them. I mean, I really started FreeeUp because I tried using the other platforms out there. I would post a job, I'd get 50 applicants, I'd have to interview them one by one, and I kept looking for something faster. And at the same time, if someone quit on me, it's not like I'm going to go to Upwork and be like, hey, refund me, or hey, pay for my next person. I would have to go there and post another job and interview another X amount of people and then hire them and train them up again. So I kind of thought, hey, what if I kept looking for something that was not only faster, but had better protection if anything went wrong. And when I couldn't find it, I built it myself. And the whole concept was the marketplace would vet people before they let them onto the platform. You'd get matched up quickly with a freelancer, so you didn't have to go through 50 people. You could just go through 1, 2, or 3. And then if you did hire them, you'd have great support if even the smallest issue went wrong. For example, one of the terms of service when I was running FreeeUp was that freelancers need to respond within a business day at all times. So if someone didn't respond, you could let the marketplace know and they'd get involved. So I didn't have to spend, or the client didn't have to spend days chasing the person down. And the turnover protection where, hey, if you're going to invest your time, energy, and money into training someone for 3 weeks and they quit on you in 6 months, you never have to pay that initial cost again, that FreeeUp will cover it. So that was the concept based on my own experiences.
Yeah, now that I think about it, when I got started using these platforms, Upwork, I'm not a huge fan of, and Fiverr, it took a few months to kind of understand the platform and the system. But once I understood all that, then it's been smooth sailing. And what I do like about Fiverr is you as the hiring manager, you go out and find the people who you want to hire. It's not like you just post a job and then people start applying and you have to go through all these resumes and links and websites and LinkedIn profiles. It's the opposite, where you're looking at their profiles. You can see all of their reviews, if they are like Fiverr medallion certified or whatever. And it, to me, it just makes the process, it requires a little bit of research and work, but it's still, I think, very smooth. But I think you're right about Upwork. That's a little harder because it's the opposite approach.
Yeah, I mean, I was doing it based on my own experience. I tend to be someone that moves fast. I want to be protected if things go wrong. And I think just the free up expanding kind of shows that there were a lot of people that had those same experiences that I had.
What are your thoughts on like when do you think companies actually need to hire someone full time, or do you think companies should just kind of go 100% freelancers?
Yeah, and you can hire virtual assistants full-time, part-time, whatever. And I think it depends. I mean, when my default, so first of all, let's define the difference between freelancer and a VA. So there's three levels of people that you can hire. You've got followers, doers, and experts. So followers are there to follow your system, your process. When I say virtual assistant, I'm talking about the follower, $5 to $10 an hour, usually non-US. The doers are the specialists, the graphic designers, the video editors, the writers. You're not teaching a graphic designer how to be a graphic designer, but they're not consulting with you either. They're there to do that one task at a high level. And then you got the experts that come in with their own systems, their own processes, their own strategies that you're paying for their experience, so that you don't have to spend 6 months learning Facebook ads, 6 months learning how to grow whatever. You can hire someone that already has that experience. So to answer your question about the full-time, part-time, when you're talking about the virtual assistants, if you can afford VAs full-time, you definitely should. And most businesses can. There are plenty of businesses that can't. When we started FreeeUp and in Amazon, we hired people 5 to 10 hours a week. We had a smaller budget, and that worked out fine. And we eventually increase their hours, although you can run into issues where they have other clients and they're not able to increase their hours. But your default, if possible, should be full-time, but there's plenty of clients that hire part-time and have success. And I have a few part-time VAs to go along with my full-time as well. Now, when you're dealing with the doers, the freelancers, most businesses don't necessarily need a full-time graphic designer, a full-time video editor. Some do, and if you do, if you're constantly giving on-call and urgent work, then you need more of that consistency where they're yours 20 hours a week, 30 hours a week, 40 hours a week. The way that I like to approach it and the way that works for most businesses is to build a Rolodex of reliable doers that you can go to for different projects. Because every time you have a graphic design project, you don't want to have to stop what you're doing and interview a graphic designer. You, over the years, want to build up a Rolodex of people that you can go to. Now, I have 3 graphic designers, I have 3 video editors, I have 3 writers. They're all in a Slack group chat. Whenever a video editing project comes up, I throw it in there. Whoever can get to it first says, hey, I got this. They give me a due date, a due time. If I'm good with it, great. If not, I see if anyone else can do it earlier. But I'm not sending them work where I'm just like, hey, I need this right now. They have other clients. I have to respect that. And on-call and urgent doesn't work. Now, here and there, can I go to them and say, hey, man, I'm so sorry. Is there anyone that can just do this like today? I really need it. Sure. But that's after I build a relationship with them. And if I do that all the time, they're probably not going to work with me. Or my business, if your business model is just constantly depending on-call work where someone who isn't full-time for you or isn't consistently working for you needs to drop what they're doing and work for you, that's not a sustainable business model. So either the system has to change or you need to hire someone more consistently.
Yeah, so we have Nathan Hirsch on the show. He's founder and CEO or now he's just the founder because he sold the company, but he's founder of FreeeUp, a platform that connects businesses of all shapes and sizes with top freelancers around the world, and founder and CEO of OutsourceSchool, an online education platform teaching entrepreneurs how to hire and scale their business with virtual assistants. Nathan, I believe right now you employ, is it upwards of 500 freelancers remotely? Is that correct?
That is not correct. I'm not sure where you got that. So at FreeeUp, we had thousands of freelancers and virtual assistants on the platform. They didn't work for me. They were just offering their services on the platform. My internal team was 35 full-time VAs, 10 part-time VAs. And with OutsourceSchool, we have about 10 full-time VAs right now.
Okay. So, well, really where I'm getting at with the question is you manage a lot of people, not 500 people, but you manage a lot of people remotely. So how do you do it, and what are your tips for the managers listening right now on how they can manage all these different people on different projects?
Yeah, I mean, the key is the key is 2 things. It's meetings and team leaders. So with meetings, we have a Monday morning meeting with all our VAs, and freelancers attend to every Monday. And then we have each team has a meeting. So the marketing team, the customer service team has a meeting each week. Team leaders, if you have them, they have one meeting each week. And then you do one-on-one performance meetings each quarter. And these are quick meetings, usually 20 to 30 minutes, reviewing what happened last week, what the goals are, any questions or concerns. And we give you the exact templates for these at OutsourceSchool. So that's part of it. And the second part of it is once you get to the point where you have 7, 10 VAs, something in that range, you don't want to have 15 VAs that are all reporting to you. You need to have team leaders. And with FreeeUp, with our 35 people, we had 4 team leaders and 3 assistant team leaders in there. So eventually you want to get to the point where the team leaders are running those meetings and you're just meeting with the team leaders. And that's really how you structure it, where the team leader is responsible for the team.
What are your best tips for actually running a virtual meeting because there's, it's completely different for people now. They're doing their meetings over Zoom or whatever, and they're used to having everybody, in one room looking at them. What are some of the differences that people need to be aware of when they're running virtual meetings?
So I don't do any meetings via Zoom. Keep in mind, my entire team for the past 7 years has been in the Philippines. So I don't do any international calls. We don't do interviews via Zoom, onboarding meetings via Zoom. Everything is via Slack. So I don't know if you've ever tried to do a meeting with 10 virtual assistants in the Philippines on Zoom before. It doesn't go very well. Things cut in and out. Stuff gets mixed. It's all on Slack. So people know to show up on time. I give updates. My business partner give updates, the team leader give updates. We then go through the past week, the stuff coming up. We have everyone that has an update, gives an update, and from there you answer any questions or concerns, and you set the goal and you move on. So we keep them quick. We keep everything in writing. Everything's there. It starts on time. We have a hard rule that meetings can never go longer than an hour. If you hit the 1 hour mark, we just end them, and that's how we keep strong communication and keep everything efficient and moving forward.
Excellent. Well, Nathan Hirsch, founder and CEO once again, he's the founder of FreeeUp. He was the CEO before he sold it, and that's a platform that connects businesses of all shapes and sizes with top freelancers across the world. He's a founder and CEO of his new company, OutsourceSchool, an online education platform teaching entrepreneurs how to hire and scale their business with virtual assistants. To all our listeners out there, Nathan is offering a special deal. It's 10% off for all Work From Home Show listeners. So visit his website at OutsourceSchool.com. That's OutsourceSchool.com. And when you sign up for his course, just type in the promo code Work From Home. That's all one word, Work From Home. You'll get 10% off. That's correct, Nathan? Is that how it works?
Yep, 10% off. So it's $9.97 a year to be enrolled in OutsourceSchool. You get access to all our systems, all of our SOPs, our community, our live coaching calls each week, and you get 10% off if you use coupon code WORKFROMHOME.
Excellent. Well, Nathan Hirsch, any final thoughts that you want to share with our listeners or anything else you want to promote?
No, follow me, Nathan Hirsch, on LinkedIn, on Facebook. I post a lot of content there, and I appreciate you guys having me on.
Great. Well, Nathan Hirsch, thanks so much for joining us on the Work From Home Show. To all our listeners, check us out, workfromhomeshow.com. That's www.workfromhomeshow.com. You can listen to all of our previous episodes. We have over 100 of them. Yes, we've been around for a while now, and we reach tens of countries around the world. So workfromhomeshow.com, workfromhomeshow.com. Leave us a review on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, you name it, whatever platform you use to listen to us. Leave us a review. Reach out to us, hello@workfromhomeshow.com. That's hello@workfromhomeshow.com. If you have any questions, if you have any guest suggestions you want us to interview, or you want us to just give you a shout out on air, hello@workfromhomeshow.com. Again, Nathan Hirsch, great interview. And to all our listeners out there, until next time, keep on working from home.